Hello and welcome to the Front to Back podcast, a program about music appreciation. I'm your host, Jackson Wisdorf, and each week I will be picking an album from my personal record collection, and you guessed it, playing it from the first track all the way to the last track, while throwing in some commentary about the album's history and a few other little factoids here and there. A new album each week is the goal, with the genre and attitude of each album changing from week to week. Nothing is off the table, so let's get it started. The Front to Back podcast starts now. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Front to Back podcast. This is Jackson here with you. Episode 7. Last week we took a look at the All Laws, LA-based neo-psychedelia garage surf revival band and their second album, Worship the Sun, which was a nice look at the state of California and all of its musical and artistic history. This week, gonna change it up like we have the last couple weeks. I don't like complacency. I like changing it up every single week, genre, album, artist. So we're really taking a dip on this one. We're gonna be going from that nice, easy sounding, psychedelic, pop, folk, rock of the All Laws to some extremely heavy stoner rock. This week we're going to be looking at Fuzz, one of the many side projects of Ty Segall debut self-titled album that came out in 2013. Harking back to days when Black Sabbath started blasting it in basements, Blue Cheer and King Crimson with their progressive innovations were challenging people to define what sounds rock music could produce, and ears hearing Zeppelin were being blown away by the raw power and mysticism. The members of this band were not even born yet they take so much inspiration from them. A group of late 20s high school buddies from California, Fuzz started as a collaboration between Ty Segall, the wunderkind of California garage rock, and Charlie Mootheart, a multi-instrumentalist and band member of Segall, when they began writing, recording, and producing content for the album in 2011. Mootheart, when asked in an interview on interviewmagazine.com about how the band got its proto-stoner metal sound, responded by saying that him and Ty had always been into that type of music, but can never foresee themselves in a band that played it. The music of Fuzz is in tune with the albums it takes inspiration from, the Black Sabbaths, the King Crimsons. The hard-hitting drum fills of Segall, Scream Bonham, guitar and bass arrangements of Mootheart and Cosio are akin to Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler, and to tie it all together is, well, Ty pulling double duty, howling out vocals, making the experience increasingly interesting, manipulating his voice in a way almost as if he is portraying different characters in each song of the album. Riddled with reverb, and of course fuzz, the type of fuzz that makes the listener very aware of how the band got their name and why making it a self-titled album makes more sense. Only adding a track to the album titled Fuzz could be done for more explanation of that, but that would be redundant. Quote, "The mood is not light. The songs project a state of perpetual paranoia and eroding mental health. And as it should be, it's a record for the burners." End quote. That's a quote from In the Red Records, the record label Fuzz came out on, and I don't think you're going to get any more accurate than that. Stoner rock, metal, heavy rock, whatever you want to call it, Fuzz has it in abundance, and this album is pure, raw, and very, very loud. So let's go ahead and get it started. It's a short album, only about 36 minutes in length. So I'm going to be doing the normal front to back podcast shtick. Gonna be playing side A first, followed by side B. 4 songs on each side. It's a quick, easy one, but these songs aren't so quick and easy. They're very complex, they're very loud, they're very raw, like I mentioned before. On surface level, it may seem like they're very simple, and then all of a sudden, Mootheart busts into a solo. Ty Segall rips out some drum fills, and everything starts over again. It's a very complex album. It's very raw, so it kind of takes some time to hear all of the complexities, because it just sounds like a lot of noise. It sounds like a lot of fuzz, but when you can hear them, it's some of the best that you'll ever hear, in my humble opinion. So, side A of Fuzz by Fuzz. We're gonna have Haze Maze, What's in My Head, Sleigh Ride, to start it off, Earthen Gate. So get ready, because this is a heavy one. I will see you at the end of this side for some more commentary. But thanks for tuning in to the Front to Back podcast. Let's get it started. It's Earthen Gate. side A of the album is now done, and we have Haze Maze to thank for it. A song with very impressive drum fills at the end of the track. What's in My Head before that. A little bit of a slower paced song, a song that was released as a single before the Fuzz LP was released. That wasn't the only single that the band put out before the debut album. The band caught the attention of a lot of people through singles such as This Time I've Got a Reason and Fuzz's Fourth Dream, songs that really showcase the band's appreciation for bands such as Black Sabbath, with that deep sound full of loud drums and thundering bass. Sleigh Ride, the second song of the album, and side A started off with Earthen Gate. As far as the band personnel on the album, Ty Segall on drums and vocals. Ty Segall was playing drums before he was playing guitar. Charlie Mootheart on guitar and vocals, and Roland Cosio on bass. Roland Cosio played on the album, however, he is no longer in the band. Chad Yubovich, the current bass player in the lineup. The album was recorded by Chris Woodhouse, who has also worked with bands such as the OCs and The Intelligence. And speaking of the OCs, Ty Segall is very good friends with the frontman John Dwyer, the owner of Castleface Records, a California label Segall has released a few albums on. So I always like to look for information about the album art on the podcast, mainly because I'm really interested in it. So I found this great interview with the album art designer Tatiana Cartompton. It's taken from Take Cover, Ty Segall and Fuzz. It was an article on pitchfork.com. So there's this creature which graces the cover of the album. It's described as an interstellar monkey dragon by its creator, Cartompton, and it looks like it could be the result of a Psychonaut's introspective acid trip. Cartompton created a rough draft of the cover after seeing Fuzz's first show, saying, quote, "It's a psychedelic creature, and when I saw them, it was close to a psychedelic experience." Adding, "I was really stoned when I saw them, super, super high," end quote. Don't forget the first break from that In the Red description of the band. It is for the burners. The cover of Fuzz's album is not the only work Cartompton has done for Segall. She also introduced the world to a terrifying eyeless face for the cover of Slaughterhouse, an album from the Ty Segall Band, the only album by the Ty Segall Band, which was released a little over a year prior to the Fuzz debut. There isn't too much more to talk about as far as the album cover goes. The layout is very simple. You have the mythological creature on the front with Fuzz underneath it. You open it up on the gatefold, and it is a fuzzy picture of the band performing in a dimly lighted room. And it's also, I believe, the same room from the same session is included on the record sleeve that goes inside of the actual album. On that sleeve, there's also the personnel, the information on where it was recorded, which was the Dock in Sacramento, California. There's a track listing, and there's lyrics. However, the lyrics end on loose sutures. There's no lyrics past that point. There's just the one sheet on the dust cover. But it's really cool looking, very aesthetically pleasing, and it's pretty minimalist and very dark. The rest of the album is just black. There's nothing on the back of the album itself, just completely black. In the Red Records on the bottom, just to let you know who put the album out. So with side A completed, it is time for side B. 4 more songs until the end of the album, and the heaviness continues. The first song includes some great instrumentation all throughout, but especially at the end. Great bass solos, drum fills, and guitar interludes. Loose Sutures to start off side B of the debut self-titled album from Fuzz. Next time I talk to you, I will be closing the show out, so enjoy side B. It's the Front to Back podcast. that just builds and builds and builds up until the end. The only instrumental on the album. One, Raise before that. A song not featuring Ty Segall on vocals, but rather Charlie Mootheart, Preacher before that, and the epic Loose Sutures to start off side B. With one, we are officially through Fuzz's self-titled 2013 debut. A nice little short one, but it really packs a punch. So if you're listening, I hope you're now energized for your day. Hopefully you didn't listen to this at night, or you may be up a little bit longer with some ringing ears, depending on how loud you listen to it. This is such a fun album to listen to. I love Fuzz. I love that big, hard-hitting sound. It sounds like there's so much going on. There's so many loud things happening throughout the album, but it's all brought together in a way that just makes it so cohesive, and it kind of gets you into a trance. It's so heavy, but it's also a little repetitive, but then at the same time, just when you think they're going to repeat something again, it changes up. The sound on this album is just outstanding. You can thank Chris Woodhouse and Ty Segall as well for doing all of the arrangements on the album. Fuzz is currently working on a new album to be released in 2015. Very excited for that. I'm a big Fuzz fan. I consider Fuzz to be my favorite of all of the side projects that Ty Segall has done throughout his career. He's done about 1 million of them, but Fuzz always takes the cake for me. Needless to say, I was really excited when the method of random selection selected this album for this week, and we are now done with it. We have gone from the front to the back. Like every episode before, I like to end out the show with a quote from a review found online. This review comes from Pitchfork. Quote, "This album finds strength in the loud, jam-centric prowess of all three dudes playing together. As a unit, they achieve power, drive, and soul. They've got the same chutzpah as the MC5 had on Kick Out the Jams, but Fuzz don't sing about revolution. They sing about burning, bleeding, and burials. They're like a murder-obsessed blue cheer." End quote. Sums it up great. Make sure to come back next week. Gonna be switching it up again, like always, with Bob Dylan's 1975 album, Blood on the Tracks. Dylan's arrival back on Columbia Records after a short stint with Asylum Records is a great historical album. It's gonna be a lot of fun next week. Love to flip-flop the genres. If you listen to the podcast, you should know by now, expect the unexpected. You never know what's going to be coming the next week. So I will talk to you next week. I hope you enjoyed Fuzz. I know I did. Make sure to like, comment, and share if you enjoyed the episode. Tell your music listening friends, your family, or people you know that just like exploring new types of music. This is Jackson signing off. The Front to Back podcast is now complete.